Hey everyone, it's Jessica Edwards in Wilmington, North Carolina. So I had a great question from a potential seller, hopefully a new listing of mine today. That was just such a good question and brought up a really good topic. The seller asked, the house is vacant that they're going to be selling. They've already moved and purchased another house that they've been living in for a while. They're going to be selling their old home. And she said that her husband had some really good photos of the property before they moved, with it furnished and sort of staged, if you will. And so she asked if those photos would be better to use or, have new ones taken with it vacant. And, a lot of times we hear things about staging properties or putting specific pieces of furniture and things in them so they're not vacant when a seller looks at it. But she was asking specifically about the photos, if it would be better to use those photos with furniture in it. And my thoughts were really that, yes, we all understand that sometimes it's helpful. Yes, sometimes it can be a negative for people to see other people's furniture and things in placement because they can't visualize their own. But more often than not, it's helpful to see furniture arranged or furniture in a room, because a lot of times you actually realize that it's bigger than maybe you would originally think, or a lot more furniture can fit in it. So my thoughts about using photos of furniture and then a buyer walking into a vacant home. The one thing we don't want to happen is have any kind of negative thought or, mentally when you first walk into the house. So if somebody sees pictures online and they've got a certain idea of what your house is going to look like when they walk into it, the last thing we want them to do is walk in and see something completely different. So I actually think it's a really bad idea to use photos online that have furniture in the photos and then somebody walks into a vacant house, because what's going to happen is we want their first thing when they walk into the property, we want that first, that first impression, if you will, to be positive and exciting. We don't want them to walk in their house and their brain have to sort of register or flip around. Wait a second, where's the furniture? They're visualizing this thing in their head of what it's going to look like, and they walk in and it's completely vacant and no furniture or rugs or anything at all. And their brain's kind of trying to do a flip-flop to figure out what's different or why this isn't processing. So I would rather that the property photos online were actually vacant if the property was going to be vacant, just because I want people to have a very positive or be able to relate as much as they can when they first step foot into the property. That's often the most important aspect of the showing, is that very first, curb appeal and very first, step into the property. So these are my thoughts. If you have any questions or comments or you disagree, please feel free to email me at jessicaedwards@seacoastrealty.com. And of course, you can always check us out at thecarolinasfinest.com. Thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.